Yo, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
And this is Avatar, The Last Airbender. I was trying to make a rhyme. That didn't sound very good. I'm sorry. This is episode 6, Masks. I'm very curious why it's called Masks. But we'll find out. Nah.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. We're about to find out. Sokka and Katara are asleep somewhere in the Earth Kingdom.
They're gonna die.
Aang, I think, is gonna go talk to Roku in the Fire Kingdom. But we already did that bit with Kyoshi in the Earth Kingdom. I'm just curious how they're gonna adapt this. So we'll see what's about to happen.
Yeah.
If you want the full length reaction, go to patreon.com/nerdynightly. But if you don't, stay here because you're already here. And episode 5 was the best episode of the show, so I'm hoping we're continuing on that track.
Hell yeah.
Making sure no one sees the person we truly want to be.
Oh, that's why it's called Masks.
Tell me.
Your gauntlets are laced incorrectly, but no one will notice.
What? Help me fix it.
Ozai, however, seems to enjoy having an audience.
I bet he does.
How do I look?
Like a prince.
The way he's playing,
Pre-Scar.
yeah,
Zuko, yeah.
is a little bit heartbreaking.
I know, it really is. Wow, that was, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm more impressed with his performance now.
Yeah.
Fire Lord Ozai saw fit to put me in charge of all operations related to the capture of the Avatar.
What a way to reveal this.
Few personnel changes I'd like to make. Until then, carry on.
Wow, that was...
I know Zuko has his rough edges. And he knows far more about sacrifice than you can ever know.
I mean, the Fire Nation stuff still fucking rocks. You know what I mean? Like, it is...
Yep.
Yeah, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Zuko has his rough edges is a bit of an understatement. But other than that...
Yeah. That is a way to describe that.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking good job realizing this in live action. It's fascinating how the avatars are remembered. Because, like, Roku, like, they're the master of all elements, and Roku is, like, always portrayed as just doing fire shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fascinating how cultures, like, deify their own people.
I'm the Avatar.
We know.
Wait! You're supposed to be men of peace.
This will take us to Avatar Roku's shrine. Quickly!
He must be close.
All right.
I guess they were waiting for Aang.
All of this belonged to Roku?
These are relics from previous avatars that my grandfather gathered.
I've seen this shelf on Etsy.
It should exist in balance with them.
The only one who can provide balance is Fire Lord Ozai. He will unify the world, not the Avatar. And you have no idea how powerful he will soon become.
Was that a reference to Sozin's comment?
I don't know.
I'm amazed they got him for this role.
Yeah.
Like, this, like, one-off, one-episode thing.
I know, yeah.
Well, at least the meditation's going a little faster this time.
He figured it out.
And to avert your eyes and hop on one leg.
After Kyoshi told me that I need to figure things out on my own, that it was part of my journey.
Sounds like her. Kyoshi has always been kind of...
Yeah.
But like Kyoshi, I am here to aid you in your journey. Anything you need.
It has to do with Ko.
Anything but that.
Anything but that.
The pendant belonged to the Mother of Faces, an ancient spirit.
Wow, that is a cool effect.
It's because of her that identity came into this world.
This version of the spirit world looks like an Instagram filter I was obsessed with in 2011.
Yeah.
It'll save you and the ones you love a lot of pain.
That was a great scene. If only all the Fire Nation people knew what a goof he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If only we really knew what the people we worship are really like.
Yeah. Damn, dude. Fucking.
What happened to them?
How did she get here?
I don't know. It's on an island.
Everything's gonna be fine.
Interesting.
There must be boats that like.
I mean, there are, but
the
she's
temple.
got to have a boat. But how did her thing smell his scent across the ocean?
It's very impressive.
Very strong nose.
So you got your firebenders and your earthbenders and your whatever benders.
That was so much more effort
I know.
to say.
I trust you. You know why?
Because if there's any missing, you'll come after us?
Because you're so cute.
I have no idea where they are.
Where? Yeah, no idea.
You're gonna sacrifice them.
Sacrifice is a part of war.
The 41st, they're mostly new recruits, they're expendable.
It's just because we just watched that episode of Shogun and we were talking about the lighting from the fire, the difference is interesting.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Because it's not actually lit by
It's
fire.
a terrible plan.
What did you say?
There is only one way to resolve this. Agni Kai.
We settle all our verbal disputes by burning each other to death. It's a really healthy political system.
It's great.
It's been waiting a long time, and I don't want him to be disappointed any more than he already has been.
Oh, I think that might have hurt more than the arrow cutting off Iroh's hair.
Right now, Zhao has the upper hand. But sooner or later, he'll make a mistake. And that's when we can make our move. Until then.
Back.
I think the live action has done a great job with Zuko so far.
I think, yeah. I think all the Fire Nation stuff has mostly worked for me. Other than the one, like, that whole beginning of episode 3.
Yeah.
They've translated this part of the animation really well.
Spared no effort in securing him.
And Zhao, like, Zhao's so different from the animated, but this version really works for me. He's so wily.
It's not my future I'm worried about.
Really? I mean, I'd worry a little.
Blow all the hot air you want. It won't change your fate.
What are you doing? Don't write that down.
Not that accurate, okay? Chill.
Celebrate! We will praise the glory!
Let's drink! Oh, this is why it's called Masks.
That makes sense.
I thought this was a season 2 thing. I didn't think this came in so early.
Well, they've definitely like condensed storylines, right?
But this might have been in season 1. I think
It
I
might
just
have
can't
been.
remember.
That is the one thing is like season 1 and 2 are very blended in my head. Season 3 is the more separate.
God damn. I really like the way they did this mask in live action.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah. It is kind of goofy to wear an all-black outfit and then have white on your face, though.
It's better than having his face showing.
Oh, 1,000%, yeah. I mean, we don't know who was under that mask, but...
No idea.
And if he wasn't wearing it, we wouldn't have seen him in that shot at all. He would have
Exactly.
been hidden.
The mask is for us, the audience.
Who are you? Right. Run now. Talk later.
Where's his glider?
Probably left it at the temple.
How does he get back to Sokka and Katara then?
Yeah, because I doubt June would have, like, grabbed his glider.
Well, and he doesn't have it here, right?
Yeah, exactly. Might not be that hard to make.
Also, make sure the great sage has everything he needs for his research.
Oh, that was great. I love what they've done with Zhao. I think this is like... Oh no, all my men are drunk.
The Avatar! Stop him!
Should have brought... Wow.
That was great.
You should have brought black clothes for Aang, because yellow is very obvious.
I don't know, Aang seems to be doing just fine.
Yeah. Was that partially CGI?
Yeah, a little bit. Zuko is like, plans that kill Fire Nation people are bad plans.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's like, hold up, let me...
That was a really weird CGI shot.
Whenever they do the, like, CGI bodies in the show, they don't do the best job with them.
No, it is a little unfortunate, because I find sometimes it's very jarring. And maybe it's just, maybe it like, looks more animated, and, like, that's, like, cool, but I don't know what it is, it just...
This is an insane plan, and I love it so much. So close.
Open the gate! Sir?
This is killing me.
I don't know, I thought that was done really well.
No, the scene was great. The, like, slow, like, weird shuffle of everybody was very funny.
Do you have a shot? Take him out.
Oh, fuck.
Damn.
Did they reveal that it was Zuko that quickly in the animated show?
I mean, I don't think it was same episode because they were like 20-minute episodes.
Okay.
But I think that it was...
For some reason, I remember it being I think that we knew, but we didn't know for a lot longer, but... It may not be something they're going to play with much past this point, so...
You shouldn't try to move. You're hurt.
Yeah, you got hit in the head.
I'd be fucking dead if it wasn't for that mask.
A lot of the time when I was supposed to be meditating, I was actually sleeping. I always got caught. Probably didn't help that I snored. He said we can't worry about anyone else's expectations. I know.
He said that to the Avatar.
I mean, I'm the Avatar. It's what everyone expects of me. All I do is worry about that. So you don't have to be like him. You can show some compassion.
How dare you? I'm the crown prince of the Fire Nation. I will be the example for all firebenders.
Zuko.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I have a feeling you've been hurt more than enough.
God damn. I think that might be the best Aang scene yet.
I think so too.
Rise and fight, Prince Zuko, so you can learn some respect.
I gotta say, Daniel Day Kim, your trainer and you, whatever, you did great. Great work.
You done good.
You done good.
Compassion is a sign of weakness.
Jesus Christ. You already won the fight, dude. That's quite the shot. That was impressive.
And the good news is, he says your vision will be fine, which means you have the good fortune of continuing to bask in my beauty.
Your spirit, however, still needs strengthening.
I'm sorry.
Well, since you
His
seem
fucking
unable
outfit
to
is
learn within the walls of this
unreal.
palace, perhaps the demands of the world outside will prove.
I wish this was a little better.
And since you're so concerned with the 41st Division, take them with you.
Oh my god, can you imagine
Can you
like
crying when
with
the
the
burn
wound?
on your?
Oh
I know.
god. Oh.
I know.
We are the 41st.
You're getting there.
Our prince has returned. What's going on?
They must have missed you at music night. It's amazing how far we'll go to hide our true selves from the world.
Oh.
He made a new one really fast.
Sure. Don't you love their design?
No.
Isn't it your favorite thing?
Finding out someone you love has left you behind.
Fuck.
Can we talk about it when I get back?
Of course.
Gyatso.
What's hard is knowing that sometimes the mask is who we really are.
Oh shit. All right.
That's great.
All righty, right. Yeah.
I like this upward trajectory. I think it was a little bit better even than last week. Like I actually was very much into that. I love all the Fire Nation stuff. I think it's really well done.
Yeah, it's the side of the show that I think has been consistently. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just that like that is the part of the story that the that the writers of this adaptation are more interested in, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think that sometimes that happens in adaptation where you'll get fans of something are going to be fans of parts of it, right?
Sure.
That always kind of happens. You always have your like favorite piece about something, and so if you bring in writers who lean towards this, the Zuko element of this being their favorite part of the story, and I'm not saying that's what happened here. I have no idea, but it does feel like the Zuko story is the one that is the most time to have like an actual arc to it.
Yeah, for sure. He's like, he's I think the closest to the animation in a lot of ways, including his whole arc, his growth, his who he is before, who he is after, who he is in the flashbacks. Like, yeah, I love getting to see that. I love the actor. I think he's fantastic. Like, I ate that up. There was like some logistical things, obviously, like the glider is like that just feels very...
Yeah, the show
juvenile.
really, like, you have to just not
don't think
care about the geography at all.
Yeah.
I think but I think that is a weakness of a show, right? It's a thing that, like, people people got all up on Game of Thrones for it in the final 2 seasons, right?
Yeah.
When Game of Thrones kind of lost the sense of distance.
I think it's because Game of Thrones was meticulous and kind of slipped a bit.
But I mean that, like, I think that it is a fair criticism of those seasons.
Yeah.
I think it is a fair criticism of this season, right? I think to say, like, at times it feels like this show speedruns Avatar is fair.
Yeah.
I also think that Zuko's stuff is the stuff that feels the least speed ran. Mm-hmm. And so I think that that's why it works the best, is because it is... But he isn't as present in the... Zuko has more screen time per episode in this version than I remember him having in the animation. And I think that the effect of that is that the main 3, their stories are much more condensed than his is. And so I feel like his arc is a little bit, given a little bit more time and room.
Right.
Having said that, I also think that, like, the Aang Zuko scene in this felt more like their relationship from the animation and more like that was being adapted than, like, Aang and Katara's relationship.
And like you
which
said,
just feels missing in the show for me.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think I agree with you that was one of Aang's best scenes.
I do. I brought up really early on that I was like, in episode 1, I felt like the acting from a lot of the kids felt a little bit stilted, right?
Yeah.
And I think that I said in that reaction, like, I think that these kids haven't been leads on TV shows before.
Yeah.
And they might just need a couple of episodes to settle into it.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I feel like that is happening, right? I feel like in the back half of this season so far, episodes 5 and 6 have felt a little bit more stable within scenes. I feel like dialogue is... I feel like the actors are finishing their lines stronger. You know, there's some of the child acting at the beginning of the show. I felt like some of the lines were falling off at the end, which happens, right? Like it's an energy thing about which you learn over time. You get taught in acting school and stuff like that, and kids haven't been through acting school, and so I feel like we're starting to get to the point where there's a confidence, I think, of these actors in playing these parts and being on set and being, you know, number one on the call sheet. And I do think the show is consistently getting better as it goes on.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a really great sign because they just got picked up for seasons 2 and 3, right?
Yeah,
like
sure.
it is a great sign to see a show
them.
improving as it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I do hope that, you know, going into seasons 2 and 3, the visuals improve a little bit. I think sometimes the show, the visual fidelity of the show, just the volume stuff doesn't really work for me all the time.
Yeah, the volume stuff doesn't work some of the time. And, like, some of the, like, this is gonna sound weird, but I think some of the costumes look like cosplay in a way that, like, they feel like they are, like, foam that has been painted and shaded.
Some of them probably are. You know what I mean? Like,
and maybe I'm just losing my mind. You know, I'm not going to put that on the show and be like, it's bad because of this. But, like, sometimes in scenes, I'm like, that, like, it looks like what I would see at a convention. And that's not a knock on, like, either one. It's just, like, there is like, a look to foam that, like, when it has been painted in a certain way and whatever, like, it just, like, looks like that. And sometimes it catches my eye. Also, some of the hair.
Yeah. So, some of the face pieces.
Yeah.
But they're not. It's not that they're always bad though. It's there's a real inconsistency.
Yes.
In the hair.
Very strange.
But this episode, to talk about the story, I think this episode was very strong. I think that Zuko's my favorite part of the show, and so the episode that focuses on him is going to work better for me because just in general he's working really well for me.
Absolutely.
I think the actor playing him, whose name I should have learned by now, but I think he is really crushing it. At the beginning of this episode, the moment where you see the line between pre-Scar Zuko and post-Scar Zuko, I thought really was a testament to what he's done on the show.
Absolutely.
I think that was a real striking, like, oh shit, there is a whole other side to this guy.
Yeah.
And the way that this actor is playing it, I think is was really cool to see. I really like when shows surprise me in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think that was coming. I don't remember that being a season 1 thing, but maybe it was. And so this episode getting so much into that was really was great, honestly. I like this Zhao a lot. He's so different. Very, very, very different character from the animation. But
he's like a different kind of scumbag.
But he's succeeding because he has a skill set in a way that totally makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this Zhao's success isn't surprising, even though he is not the hard ass that the other guy is. He's wily and he's kind of a rat. He kind of reminds me of the Marine officer from One Piece in the Arlong arc. And that's not a diss. I do think it's a great performance. I think it's a great choice. Yeah. The characters kind of remind me of one another. And they have similar places within their organizations. I do. One of the things about watching the show in live action that I find really fascinating is it is really shocking there aren't more burn marks on Fire Nation people.
Or clothes.
Like maybe
there's
no
this all
singeing.
treated with like fire retardant, like maybe there is like a process that they do for all of their materials, because like you just like a little baby firebender accidentally is like whoop, and suddenly the house goes up, like that would suck.
Yeah, it's just it is interesting. You would think that just in the like process of becoming a firebender in your early training, you would burn yourself a couple of times.
True, like not a lot of people have scars.
Yeah,
which is fair.
Which is like totally something that you don't want to put on the show. Scars are the liquid latex like it's just a lot of time.
I think it also like would in a way detract from Zuko's, because he's the only one that has it, and it's very symbolic.
I never.
But it is just funny in a practical sense, thinking about the logistics of how a society would look and function, if they just like had fire at their fingertips.
I've never thought about it watching the animation. I never was like, oh, why is he the only one that has a burn mark? But now watching the live action, I'm like, how are these people not burning themselves constantly?
Yeah.
Like, how do they not have just like burn marks all up their arms?
Yeah, the way that they can block fire versus when it hits them, because obviously Zuko got hit in like the shoulder as well.
But if you put your hand into it, it stops it.
I would be so curious as to how like
totally not a criticism of the show. I totally get practically why that doesn't happen.
No, it's just fun to think about.
But it does kind of go back to episode 3 when Katara did the water bending and then wasn't wet, where bending elements in the show in a way that never bothered me in animation but bothers me in live action, that like when you bend these elements, like these things have real tangible effects on things that are immediately visible. Because I understand how fire looks in the real world, and I understand how water hits things in the real world.
Well, when you want to put things in live action, it is because you are attempting to bring more realism into it. Otherwise, why would you put it in live action? It exists animated. Like you have to understand that if you are adapting something to a different medium, you are undertaking the like responsibilities of the expectation of that. Because like you can be like, oh well, it wasn't in the anime, but there are things that I think that you need to be more on top of and at least consider when you are changing mediums like that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because otherwise, you're kind of just doing the same thing twice, and like that's.
Well, and there's a certain point with how much CGI you use that you're just doing animated again.
Sure.
It's just a different style of animation.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
It's kind of like The Lion King being the live action Lion King, but it's not a live action movie at all. Like, there's no live action element to that film.
I hate that movie.
I know you do. I think it's a technical masterpiece that is not a very interesting film to watch. But if you watch the technology on display, it's great. But going back to this show, there are people who think that this show is terrible, like who think it is absolute garbage. I am curious how many of those people made it past episode 3, because if you watch until we got a lot of criticism on our episode 3 reaction, being like, you guys chose to hate the show in advance. You're just shitting on this to shit on it.
We plotted it out in our calendar. Today we're gonna hate Avatar.
I don't love episode 1, and I actively think episode 3 is not a very good episode of television.
Agreed.
I generally think 2, 4, 5, and 6 in ascending order are pretty great.
Yeah, right? We're on a upward trajectory, which I appreciate.
I might put 2 above 4. I might go like 6, 5, 2, 4, 1, 3. If I was to rank episodes so far.
Yeah.
But I wonder how many people watched the Omashu episode
and we're like,
this is a stuffed kind of messy episode of TV. Yeah. Because I do think that's what it is. I think they tried to they wanted to fan service it. I think 4 suffered. It's why I put 2 above 4 as well. I think 4 also suffers from trying to shove in Secret Tunnel and shove in shove in things from the animated show.
I agree. Not my favorite.
But I do like more than 1 and 3. But I think that this show, after episode 3, has been consistently a much better version of what I wanted from a live-action Avatar.
For sure.
And it's still not perfect. I think that 8 episodes is still crunching the story down too much.
Mm-hmm.
And I would we finally got to watch Aang and Zuko have a scene to breathe and have like a real conversation because the threat of the Fire Nation meant they couldn't leave, and so they were forced to stop for a second. And I think that it benefited the show so much to have them have that conversation in that scene.
Yeah.
And to finally slow these two characters down to not being able to move.
Yeah.
But I wonder about the people who say that everything about the show is terrible if they made it past episode 3. Because if you got to episode 3, hated it enough that you were like, I'm going to stop here, I can kind of get it, right? Like if you're like, if the show's going to be this the whole way, I'm not going to give it 5 more hours.
My interest was like...
But that... And it sucks because like, you know, somebody wrote that episode and people worked on it and like there was a lot of work put into that episode. I think that it wasn't very good, and I think that the show around it is much better and deserves a better response than I think the people who stopped there are going to give it.
For sure.
Because I think 5 and 6 are both pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's elements of them that, you know, I wish had more time, right? I wish we had more time with Poe.
No, like...
I wish we'd had, you know, more time with Roku, and there's all sorts of things I wish we had more time with.
Yeah.
But considering they have 8 episodes, I think these last 2 have both been... have shown me that the show is headed in the right direction going into the finale. Because I'm assuming we get to the Northern Water Temple and the last 2 episodes both happen there. Right? I can't imagine we do the entire North Water Temple in 1 episode.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the last episode is going to be the North Water Temple. We're going to have an epic finale. And we're going to be launched into season 2 with a group of actors that are clearly getting more confident, are getting better at these roles, are feeling more comfortable in them. And with a narrative that I think, even like the dialogue, I think is getting stronger as the season goes on. And it's a little bit less exposition-y. I felt like June's monologue had a little bit of that, like, I'm going to tell you my entire worldview because this is the only scene I get.
Yeah, that I didn't like that scene, but it was the weakest part of
the
this
whatever
episode
benders wasn't. Yeah. But I think the show's headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, I like that. I liked episode 5 a lot, though. I don't know if I like episode 5 or this more, but I think like these last 2 episodes have been the show that I kind of wanted from the trailers that we got.
For sure.
And if the last episodes continue in this, the back half of the season is going to be really strong to me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm
glad
fair? We got that.
Yeah. If you like the video, like, subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave me in comments down below because that algorithm goddess, she be hungry and we must feed her. This episode, that algorithm goddess is...
Well, I think we saw...
June headlines.
June headlines. We'll go with June.
Headlines.
Yes.
If you want to follow us around the internet, you can. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
Do something nerdy tonight, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.